Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? I went and picked up my new to me motorcycle today. Now I have two. So nobody needs two motorcycles. And that's enough of that. I wanted to ask you and check in with the Isn't It Wonderful affirmations that I gave you almost a couple weeks ago now and see if your life has shifted. Has your presence with yourself shifted when you're feeling sort of down or ucky and you say, isn't it wonderful, over and over to yourself? It shifts your consciousness because there's no, like, our minds have nowhere to go but to that wonderful place, right? And it shows you how powerful your minds are and our minds are. And I wanted to ask you, pairing with that, is how are you showing up for yourself? Are you fighting yourself internally? Are you having fights with other people internally? Or are you creating the vision and speaking to yourself inside how that version of you that has everything would speak to her or himself? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Are you having positive conversations, inner conversations? Because we have so many thoughts and so many inner conversations a day, like we cannot not have them. And how are your thoughts? Are you nipping the negative ones in the bud? Are you shutting them down when they come and then digging to the root of them to ask yourself, why am I thinking and feeling this way? Because we can work on our self-concept and how we feel till the cows come home. If we don't get to the bottom of why these limiting beliefs are coming up, it's not going to change. Like, it's pairing the two. This is shadow work. This is, trauma healing, release, all that good stuff. So if you're having the same cycles perpetuate over and over in your life, it's you. And I'm going to say this as a very loving being. It's you. You are the common denominator, right? Like, there's nobody to change but self ever. I'm sure each and every one of you that watches this video has tried at one point or another to change somebody other than ourselves. And how does that work for you? It may work well for a little bit of time, but it's not sustainable. That being said, nobody has free will in our reality. And I know that might sound funny to some people because free will is such an amazingly taught subject in law of attraction and all that, spiritual consciousness. But honestly, our external holographic world is a manifestation of our internal world. And so if you realize that and you can come into that space of creation inside your mind and your heart center, you can go inside and shift things very quickly on the outside by sitting inside and reworking those thought patterns that go on, the conscious and the subconscious one. This is where conscious creation comes from, because you hear a lot of manifestation coaches talk about how quickly we can manifest. We've been manifesting our whole life. And it's such a buzzword right now. It's just creation. It's mind. It's our beliefs and our thoughts perpetuating on the outside. And it's really cool. This is what magic is. This is why some people can snap their fingers and have like crazy synchronicities appear, because they're in that zero state. They're in that state of nothingness, that brainwave pattern. That's the space of creation. It's so cool and powerful once you can realize your potential power. And I say potential because you already have the power. It's already within you, but it's tapping into it and releasing it. And that's what I teach. And it's beautiful. We can get on this healing journey, and it's great because, like I said, we do need to release the limiting beliefs. So AKA heal them, release it from our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body. That being said, you can get in a cycle where there's going to always be something to heal from. And we don't want to get in that cycle, because once we release these, I don't want to use the word blocks because that's a limiting belief. Once we release these energies from our system, we realize that there's really never anything that we've needed healing from. We've never needed to be saved. Because we've created these neural pathways in our mind that makes us believe that we do. And then you become like this, like this infinite light that allows things just to roll off you. That being said, don't allow garbage to happen to you, but you will find less and less undesirable circumstances will happen to you because you're creating from the inside out. You're pairing that heart and mind and coming into that space of the quantum. Sorry, when my daughter comes downstairs, my cat thinks she's being fed every time, so you'll hear my cat talking. It's that quantum field that they talk about, that quantum field of creation where creation happens in the snap of a finger. We need to believe it though. If we think things are hard, if we think things we're not deserving, we're not worthy, oh my gosh, this person always shows up this way, men are horrible, women suck, that's what we're going to create in our reality. If we start creating narratives about other people in our lives, like say a love interest or a boss, that they hate you or they're unfair to you, that's what you're going to create in your life. So change that, shift that mindset. I'll give you an example because my daughter's standing here, my 14-year-old. She was having troubles in school. Things were difficult. And I told her, dig in. What's that version of you that does well in school? And you know what? She dug in for a solid few months and her marks changed. And it wasn't that she wasn't putting that much, she was putting more effort in, but she was believing that she could learn and absorb things that were going on around her. And she did. She was starting to do really well on her tests because she wasn't blocking herself by panicking going into them. And this is what we all can do with every circumstance and situation in our life. That's tapping into the quantum, that infinite field of intelligence, that ESP, that intuition, that master manifestation mode, because we quiet our nervous system, because we are healed. We're whole and complete every step of the journey. So coming back to the Isn't It Wonderful challenge, I'm going to keep this going because I fell off the wagon for a couple days because I had a really great weekend last weekend. And then I was like, no, I don't need to do this anymore. And I'm like, no, that's like old version of me coming back, getting to a really good place and then being like, I don't need to put the maintenance in anymore. We always need to put the maintenance in our spiritual journey, in our, like if you're going to the gym, that's a great example. Physicality, you're going to get to a great place. But if you stop and start eating garbage, you're going to regress, right? Like, so it's the same thing with working in our minds and working in our bodies. We get to know our bodies really well. We get to understand what's coming up and we can understand what's creating undesirable or desirable circumstances in our reality. And we can go backwards and we can re-navigate them and create from right now. So I'll give you this. If you're having a not good time, look within and ask and be like, okay, what's the pattern here? There's always a pattern. It's about pattern recognition and it's about quieting yourself. Coming back to a place of homeostasis, coming back to a space of nothingness, working in the now. And I know a lot of people talk about this, but what is it? It's right now. The future doesn't matter. 10 minutes down the road doesn't matter. Last week doesn't matter. 10 years ago doesn't matter. It's right now. How are you feeling? What are you thinking? What are you creating with those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions right now? And I know even my mind, being well trained in this, it still goes off on weird tangents and you have to rein it back in. It's like training a puppy or raising a child or anything. We have to rein it back in. Our minds can go off and create super horrible nightmares. And if you think back on your life, how many times have you thought the worst case scenario and you've brought that to fruition? I know being raised by a very anxious parent, she would always have like the worst case scenario going on. And so that's what I became. And I would always have all these plans and, plan B, plan C, plan D. No, start saying to yourself, plan A being the most amazing plan. I am this, I'm that. That is the only plan and I make it happen effortlessly. And the inspiration will come to you as what you need to do that. You will just have people come into your life. Super awesome things will happen. Only plan A ever. You are worthy, you are loving, you are loved, you are deserving, you are magical. Remember that. Anyway, I'm going to go mow my grass in this momentary sun, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. I just wanted to remind you of your power because it all lies within, and our perception is everything. It's always been everything and it always will be everything. So perceive through eyes of unconditional love. Perceive through eyes that know you have everything that you want and desire. The reason you desire things is because you already have it. You just have to believe that and come into that. I'll leave you with that. Otherwise, I'll keep going because I do that. Have a great day. And Tuesday evening, June 21st, solstice activation. So if you'd love to come to that, and I love that I'm seeing Isn't It Wonderful in the comments. If you want to join the solstice activation, it's going to be great. We're going to work in this 0 point, in this space of the quantum, and just activate that ability within you to really come into that calmness in your body, grounding into it. come join that. If you want to work one-on-one with me during the summer, I don't have a ton of availability. I'm already quite booked. So I am offering email coaching, which is easier for a lot of people who have busy lifestyles. If you're interested in that, check it out. Send me a private message. I'll send you the information. And yeah, one-on-one sessions, there are a few left. So if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, come work with me. This is what I do. I activate you. Have a great day. Bye.